channel. I am Heather Briggs of My So Quilty Life. I'm so happy you're here. Today we're in the final month of the Flower Stand block of the month 6. I cannot believe it. We are about to make our final block 12. But first, before we did that, I wanted to show you the quilt and show the block inside the quilt before we get started. So this block is going to take a little bit of time to make, and it's a little bit of work, but it's like the icing on the cake for the quilt. And I'm going to show you what I mean in a second. So the next block we make for block 12, it actually tops like the top of the quilt, the top of the flower stand. It is this awning right here that says flowers. So you see what I mean? It's like the icing on the cake right here. So cute. It does require, like I said, a little bit of time and a little bit of patience to finish. You got that adorable little bunting right here, the little awning, and then you have the sign, which contains a lot of little tiny pieces. Sorry, you know that I love little pieces. To construct those words or those letters to make flowers. But I saved this block for last so that you could learn all the techniques, get used to all the methods, and you should have no problem constructing, especially where it says flowers. So I'm going to go to my top camera and we're going to look at the quilt in a little bit more detail. Okay, so here is our final block 12. Right here, we've got the little flowers sign letting everybody know this is a flower stand. And then this is like the little awning that we're making. So we have some little corner squares here that need to line up. But all in all, this part is fairly easy. All of it's easy, but this part is tedious. So I apologize in advance, but I know you're gonna love it when you get done. So don't be intimidated by it at all. So here is our final block. So cute. Okay, so you do need your month 6 flower stand flower pack. That's a tongue twister. And you're gonna open up and pull out your month 6 blocks 11 and 12 pattern. Now, block 12 is the one on the bottom, and that is starting on page 3. So go ahead and open up those flower packs, get your pattern open, and let's get started on block 12. Okay, so I went ahead and got a little organized before the tutorial so that I could label all my pieces, because I definitely did not do that in the last video. And I have these little design boards. I just wanted to make sure that none of the little letters was sticking through it. So, see? Oh, letters are falling. Can't do that. Anyway, I like to use these. They are made with just some foam core board and some extra batting that I had on hand. And I use these for everything. I don't put the cute little binding that a lot of people does around them, because then I won't be as sad if I break one or one bit's messed up or messy. I can just toss it and I'm not sad about it. Okay, moving on. Okay, I went ahead and laid out all my pieces with my cute little alphabet markers. There's not many pieces left in here. That goes to show how many pieces are in this block. So there's like 3, 4, 5 left in this little baggie. Okay, so go ahead and get organized. That is going to be my first tip for you, is staying organized through this whole block. But go ahead and get organized. Cut out all your pieces, label them with the alphabet markers, and put them on the boards or your method of keeping organized. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and get started. With step 1, it's always draw a diagonal line on the back of some fabric squares. So go ahead and do that, but we're going to start with our letters. So we're going to get our letters done first. Now, I'm trying to do things a little bit differently. Instead of walking step by step through each step of the pattern, that can get a little tedious. It can extend the duration of the tutorial. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sew and like show you like things that need to line up, you know, pressing tips, just little tips and tricks along the way. So you're not having to sit here and watch me make every FLOWERS flowers because it can get a little tedious there. And a lot of the steps I like to chain piece and just start combining. Now, if you get confused easily with chain piecing, or your pieces getting mixed and mingled, and sometimes I miss sewing, I've got to use my seam ripper, but I like to chain piece. So what I'm going to do is probably walk you through F, and I'll probably walk you through either O or W, but I'll probably definitely walk you through R and S. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. I'm just kind of winging it today. I just noticed that I spend a lot of time on tutorials walking through each step and they just don't get a lot of views. And not like I'm trying to get views on my video, but after spending probably about 7 to 8 hours on a tutorial, it does consume a lot of my time when it doesn't get interacted with a lot, not a lot of action, not a lot of views, all the things. It makes me question, should I spend that amount of time on tutorials, or should I do it in a different way, or should I use that time? Is it better used elsewhere? So I'm gonna try to do stuff a little different, but I talk a lot, so we'll see if that actually works out for me. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm sorry for clapping so much. On step 2, I'm gonna show you how to do F, and these techniques, you're just sewing a straight seam the entire time, but you do want to make sure that when you are pressing, you're not distorting your pieces because they are so small. You want to make sure you're pressing good, you're not distorting or pushing and pulling, because if those pieces get a little warped, your F is going to look like it could have some cursive to it, and depending on who you are, you might be okay with that, but depending on who you are also, you might not like that. Okay, so I'm going to move on to our F. So our F, we need fabric Q, T, I, U, O, and D. Okay, that's a lot. I'm going to need my pattern for this one. Okay, so we need 1 fabric T, 1 fabric U. Give me that U. Give it to me. You can't have it. Sorry. And fabric Q, 1 Q. Okay. I, O, D. So I, give me an I. Give me an O. Give me a D. What's that spell? Iode? Guys, okay. It's been a long day. Okay, so here we go. So in these steps, it is just showing you how, it's not like broken down to all these different steps. It is just showing you. So we have fabric T, we have fabric I, and this is what it looks like in your pattern. It's broken up like this, just like, no, that goes up there. Nope, just kidding, that goes there. It looks just similar to this, okay? And all you do is pay close attention to the little arrows. The little arrows, the little black arrows usually, mostly, always mean your pressing direction. But when it has a number associated with it, as you see in the pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in this step, those are your assembly and pressing instruction. Okay, so you may notice that my fabric is a little different. So your fabric is going to look different in your pattern and what you're making if you're using the Flower Girl fabric. Now, Flower Girl is sold out completely. It's been sold out completely at Moda, so shops can no longer buy it. They're not going to reprint it. That's just how it works. And so what I have left is all I have left, unless I go try to hunt some down, which I'm okay with what I have left, but I don't want to like use it up. And so for my block of the month quilt, this second one that I've been doing in my tutorials, I've actually been pulling mostly from my scrap bin in order to use the fabrics. But for this block, this was one of my favorite fabrics in the collection. I just love that pop of peach. But for this block, I didn't want to cut into my yardage. So, and I thought about making it scrappy with a few other little scrap pieces that I have in my scrap bin, and that probably would have been a better idea. But while I was digging through my scrap bin, I did find the solid that matches the collection. It matches the lighter peach, not the darker peach that you're using in this step. So I decided that's what I was going to do, and I'm going with it. And so you're going to see that my pieces are a lot different. Okay, so looking at from the top camera, this is what it should look like. Now I'm going to walk you through just what you do first. So you're going to piece your U and O together first. That is the first number 1. So once that is pieced together like that, you're then going to piece your fabric D to the bottom. And remember, you'll have your seam allowance here. So then you're going to assemble fabric I to all of that. Then you're gonna assemble fabric T to the top and press. Remember, don't push and pull, really just lay flat and press flat. And then we're gonna assemble our fabric Q right there. Okay, so now I'm going to show you. L is the same thing. You're just using C, Q, and T. You got your numbers, so you should be fine. Fabric O is similar, but you're adding corner squares, okay, but I think you can handle that one. You're just adding corner squares in the middle and on the outside, but W is where I wanted to start with next. So for step 7, we need fabric N and fabric X, 2 of them, N, and X. So N and 2 fabric X's. And you're going to be making 2 in the opposite direction. So what you want to do is you want to place your fabric X's right here on the bottom of fabric N, just like it shows in step 7. And all you're going to do is assemble on that diagonal line there, okay? After you have done that, that is when you can start putting together the block. So you'll have fabric U in the middle here. And use your imagination. Those are corner squares that are already pressed, but for the sake of time, I wanted to not do them yet. Then we need fabric G. So what we're going to do, we need fabric G, 2 fabric R's. 2 fabric R's right here. And I'm just laying it out how it looks in the diagram. 1 fabric S. All right. And then you will need 2 fabric K's, but not at this step. This is this has 3 steps with this letter, but I'm going to go ahead and lay those out. Okay, so what you're going to do first is after you've made in step 7 your N units, your L and R N unit, you're going to sew them together to that middle U. Then you're going to press and then assemble fabric G to the top of that. Then assemble fabric R to the sides of that and press, and then lastly assemble fabric S rectangle. And then you're going to press and trim down if you have any excess hanging off to the measurements that are listed at the end of each step, so that's why I put them there. And then our final step for the W is once this is all sewn together, it'll be a nice rectangle. You're just going to assemble the fabric K squares to the bottom using your diagonal line. You're going to stitch on it and flip. Your stitch and flip. So that is what you do for W. And now I'm going to walk you through fabric R. Not fabric, letter R. I'm going to walk you through letter R. And I hope you find this helpful. I really do want to cut down the amount of time I spend doing my tutorials. So if this is helpful or you're like, Heather, this is not helpful, I need you to go back, just let me know. Because I feel like a lot of people that are watching my tutorials are probably beginners, unless you're like me and you just throw tutorials on in the background while you're sewing, but you really don't pay attention to them, which is totally fine too. Okay, so the R, it's different because it does have a little piece, a little diagonal piece for the little bottom R that we need to make. So you do need 1 fabric P, you do need 1 fabric H and 1 fabric E. 1 fabric H and 1 fabric E. Now pay close attention, fabric E does go on the bottom. And you're going to do that one first because you can't assemble both of these at the same time. You'll see that in the step 11. But you're going to assemble on your diagonal line. And I'm going to attempt to fold this right here so that you can kind of see. After you press, you're going to assemble fabric H right here. And again, do your stitch and flips. And this is a little messy. I apologize, but it's probably a lot better than spending the next 10 minutes talking about what to do. Okay, so these, there we go. Let's put some letters. Let's put letter E since that's only E. Okay, so your unit will look like this. Okay. But probably better because you're actually going to assemble it. Okay, I'm going to set this aside now that we have that, and now we need our fabric T rectangles and fabric O squares. And we're going to be making a top and a bottom, and I'm going to go ahead and put them like this, but in the pattern I put them next to each other, but don't get confused. You're going to assemble your fabric O squares on the sides over here. You're going to assemble your top unit this way and your bottom unit this way, and then you're going to press, okay? Then now you need your P unit at the bottom here, and you're going to need fabric J, let's see, J and W right here, and lastly fabric Q. So starting to take shape, you could use a little bit of your imagination here, which is fine, but you can see what we do here. So that is all you do for those. And you do a similar technique for the letter S with making these little top and bottom and middle units. So I'm going to go ahead, I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is completely assemble all of my letters and then meet you back here to kind of sew it into the sign, and then we'll do the little awning part. And I think that works fine. Again, post in the comments if you are okay with seeing this type of tutorial, or if you really would like for me to go step by step with each one. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that moving forward, but I'll try to take that into account when I am making my tutorials. Okay, so I'm gonna get this going. When I get back, we'll have flowers. Flowers. Okay, I just got done making all of my letters, and it probably took me about 45 minutes. So take your time, go through the steps, you'll be just fine. Okay, so now we're gonna move on. We're gonna take a little bit of a break from the letters, so I'm going to move on and put them all to the side. They need another good little press in, but I'm gonna put them to the side. Now we're gonna move on to step 17. So step number 17 is the step that has a pattern correction. And one of my little lines, my little stitch lines, is going the wrong way. Okay, so for step 17, we need 2 fabric BBs, and we're gonna make an LBB and an RBB. LBB, RBB. Okay, so for the LBB, I have the line going the wrong way, but I'm gonna show you which way it goes. So you need fabric B and BB, and you're going to lay, here we are, you're going to lay your fabric B on the BB on the left side. That is like a tongue twister. And instead of stitching this way, how I tell you in the pattern, you're actually supposed to stitch the other way. And then for the right unit, you're gonna stitch like it shows in the diagram on this, okay? So I'm gonna set those aside because I will do them when I get over to my machine, but we're gonna start moving on to the awning. So I'm gonna just stick those right. I'm gonna combine a lot of steps just so that this tutorial goes a little faster. So for step 18, we need 1 fabric CC in the checkerboard green. Now if you're following my coloring of the pattern, you need 1 in the checkerboard green and you need 1 in the main green floral right here. Okay, so these ones are different because these actually will have your brown little squares so that it can meet up with the flower stand side, the little walls that go down. So just follow the diagram closely. You're gonna need 1 fabric K and 1 Y. So I've got Y over here, so we just need 2 Ys and 2 Ks. Okay, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna do our stitch and flip units. Nothing new, but just pay close attention to your placement of the fabric K and the fabric Y. So your green checkerboard should look like this, and then your green flowers will look like this. So you're going to assemble on your diagonal line to create those stitch and flip corners, or stitch and flip units. And you're gonna have an LCC and an RCC. So L and R are gonna make 1 of each. Okay, so I'm gonna do that when I get over to my machine, but I'm gonna set that aside so I can bring a couple things over. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to step 20. So for step 20, you need your remaining green fabric CCs and the remaining white or low volume fabric DD rectangles. So I have them here. You need 7 greens, so you should have 7 here, and then you need 6 of your low volumes here. Okay, so of fabric DD. You got CC and DD. Okay, so what we're going to do is we also need our fabric K squares, the rest of those as well. We're almost done using all these little pieces. All we're going to do, I'll show you how it looks in the pattern, is assemble our fabric K squares to the bottom, just like we did with the other pieces, but this time it's just 2 white K squares. To the bottom of all your green, you should have 7 left, your green CC rectangles, and 6 of your low volume DD rectangle. So you're gonna do that in press to make your CC unit and your DD units, all of them. Again, you're gonna have 6 and 7. I'm gonna go ahead and do all these steps, assemble all of them like I just showed, and when I get back, we're gonna start putting together the flower sign and the awning. Okay, I just got done with all of those steps. Let's see, we have, let me go through here. I have my Step 17 right here. So I have my LBB and my RBB finished. So I'm going to set those aside. Next, I have, let's see, a couple things. I have my LCC and RCC. Again, just pay close attention, making sure those are in, the brown are in. So I have those. And then next I have step 19. The brown goes on the outside for these ones. So make sure that yours look like this. And then I have my 6 low volume, let's see, DD units and my 7 green CC units here. Okay, and one thing I did not mention when I was showing earlier, you're going to want to make sure that you press these in opposite directions. I have you pressing one out and one in. So that's what I do here. Right here is all you can see, because we are going to be putting these together here and you want them to nest nicely. So let's go ahead and set all of this aside because we do not need it. I'm giving you a break from your little stitch and flip units really quick. So what we're going to do is we need our fabric M and our L. So fabric M and fabric L. First, we're going to assemble all the M's, M as in mom, in between all the letters here, like this. So my tip, what I really like to do, is one letter gets an M. It's going to go off screen a little bit. And all the letters get one M, and then one letter gets 2. So I'll probably attach to the left side first. So we're going to assemble one fabric M to the left of every letter here. That's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to press, okay? Then when I get to my letter S over here, I'm going to put 2, one on the right, one on the left, okay? After that, I'm slowly just going to start attaching each of the letter with its M to the next letter, okay? Just make sure that you're pressing correctly because you don't want your M's or your letters to get distorted and your sign looks a little wonky. Remember when I said about the cursive? You either like it or you don't. It might be a little wonky. Okay, so after that, once those are all assembled, we are going to assemble our fabric L rectangles to the top and bottom. And I actually did not trim mine yet. I will. I just, for the sake of trying to be quick when I was cutting, I just left it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then when I get back, we'll talk through how to put the brown on your flower sign. Okay, here we go. I have my flower sign, flower unit in step 21 finished. Oh, it looks so cute. Flowers. Okay. Now we're going to be moving on to step 22. So for step 22, we need our fabric AA and fabric Z. And all we are doing here, similarly, is attaching our fabric AA to the sides here and our fabric Z to the top. And I don't think I trimmed these down either, like I mentioned earlier. So our fabric, yeah, I did. Okay. So our fabric Z to the top and bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And when we get back, we are going to be putting together the top and then putting together the little awning. So are you ready? Okay, I just finished with step 22 and I love how it turned out. I've got my little brown frame on my flower sign and now I'm ready to put the top together. So here is what it looks like on the top camera. Here we go, flowers. That would be really embarrassing if I spelled that wrong. Flowers. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to step 23. So for step 23, I'm gonna set our flower sign up here. We need our fabric A rectangles and those little BB units. And you wanna make sure they're going like this. Okay, and the only thing we're gonna do here is we are first going to assemble fabric A to the top of our BB, R, and L. Okay, so we're going to do that first. Then we're going to, and this is going to get out of the frame here, but we're going to just assemble those to the side of this right here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And when I get back, we'll have this part assembled and we'll be ready to move on to step 24, which is putting all of these together. Okay, I just got done with step 23. Here we go. Here we have the top of our awning unit with our flower sign. Now we're gonna put the awning unit together and then we are gonna be all done with the block. Okay, so for this next step, you need to like have a clear space. Of course, I'm like covered in little lengths and strings. So you want to have a clean workspace here, like a table or the floor or your design wall, because you're going to want to lay this out before you go over to your machine and get going. So what we need to do is we need our, let's see, our LCC unit and our right CC unit. They're on the floor. They're on the floor. They fell off the table. Do, 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 do. Okay, so we need our one with our little checkerboard first. And I'm going to try to go from the top camera, but I don't think I have enough room. So you want to go with your checkerboard first. Then you want your green flowers all the way on the left. Right. The right, not left. Okay, and then you need your LDD and RDD. So right here, you see those will match up right there. The little brown here, it's kind of hard to see. Then you're going to go ahead and put, like it shows in the pattern, a green and a white, and just keep alternating as you go down. And I'm just putting them all in like this. I'm going to scoot them over. Just do exactly what it shows in your pattern and you will be A-okay. Trying not to get mixed up here because I got a lot going on. That one, then it's this one, then it's this one, and then it's this one, and then it's this one. Do I have that right? I don't have that right. Nope, I'm missing one. I knew it. I was like, I have an extra one. There we go. See, even I get. Okay, we should. Let's look at our pattern. We have a checkered with green, low volume, a flower with green with low volume next. Then we have the little green blooms with the low volume. Then we have the green dense flowers with the low volume, checker, low volume, blooms with green, low volume, dense flower, low volume, checker. Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to assemble all of that together. Now, you did press in opposite directions, hopefully, so you can nest your seams. Now, you are just going to go down like this and keep adding is how I do it. I don't like to stop all the time. I don't like to stop and do 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, but you totally can. What I do is I just put 2 together, and because we nested our seams, those seams will lock in place, and then I assemble. I go ahead and press, open it up, grab the next one, assemble. Press, open it up, grab the next one, and assemble. Now, I probably will stop after like 6 and start a new start a new little grouping and keep going so it's not too large, but I hardly ever just sew 2 together and move on, sew 2 together. So I'm going to go ahead and assemble all of that. Once you get that step 24 finished, you're going to assemble it to this top piece here, and I'm going to go ahead and do that, and when I get back, we'll be all finished with block 12. Gosh, so crazy, block 12. Okay. I'm going to calm my excitement because I'm overly excited at the fact that this block of the month is almost over, but also really sad. Okay, time to not think about that right now. I'm going to get making this. Okay, now that I'm even more covered in threads and little bits of fabric, I have finished step 25. So here we go. Oh, step 25. So now we have our block 12. So this is the last block in the Flower Stand block of the month. I think that is so crazy. Like I just said, I have mixed emotions about it. This has been so much fun. I hope that you have enjoyed it as much as I had. I know some of you have already given me some feedback that it was a thumbs up, which makes me so happy because so much time and preparation and design and tears. Not any blood yet, but we're not done. Well, actually, okay, I take that back because when I was packing all the envelopes, my fingers got super dry and started, I'll save you the details. Anyway, so I guess blood, sweat, and tears, it all went into this block of the month. Now, I am going to do a finishing video, so make sure you check that out. But before I go, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this video. Comment below if you're super sad or happy that the Flower Stand block of the month is almost over. I plan to do a fun little block show and tell on my YouTube channel. This will be the next video showing you all the blocks, and then I will film the final finishing tutorial where I put it all together. So I hope that you'll join me for that. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.